Well, while Hugh's just rolling a cigarette, this seems like a good time to give a content warning for this particular project. There may be some effing and jeffing, some coarse language that the young ones might not want to hear.
I think it's time for you to start to seriously consider salads.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I mean, get off my car before you flip it over, you fat fuck.
I don't like food. I love it. Keep feeding. Lunches, time to eat. Yo, I know the perfect meal for you.
Come down to eat.
Jesus Christ, is that all you people do? The lunch we had with Jim and wood chip.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 9 of The Daily Grind, subtitle The Daily Dined.
Fat and broke.
Fat and broke.
So, Theo, we've had a very exciting weekend, haven't we?
Yeah, well, as you heard yesterday, we were recording in Bristol.
Recording in Bristol,
Having just been to Bath.
Yeah.
A nice night out in Bristol.
Yeah.
Halloween, we found a little coffee shop / cocktail bar. Mixed a pretty mean cocktail.
Yeah, really nice.
Can't fucking speak, I'm fucked up after this weekend.
Bristol's really cool. Never been before.
Yeah,
a cool city.
My first time too. Lots of skating around, which is cool. It was trendy as shit.
It was trendy as hell. Yeah, I would definitely go back again.
Yeah, Bristol was cool.
So people love it.
Yeah.
Like people absolutely love it. I didn't feel that way about it. It was really cool.
I think it's like if Camden Town was a city.
That's a very good comparison. Yeah.
And just to shout out that coffee shop / bar, because it was really nice. I think it's called Playground Coffee House.
Yeah, would definitely recommend going there. So we didn't book anything.
Like a chump, got turned away from
dumbly.
3 places.
Halloween night, COVID.
And unbeknownst to us at the time, last weekend before this new lockdown.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately cutting our journey down by a day.
Yes, it is.
Maybe 2 if closes down again like they did last lockdown.
We'll do an episode anyway.
Yeah, we need
for
to
the wrap up.
We need to wrap up. So that's a shame.
So that's cut quite a good one out of the mix actually. So we were going to go to Restaurant Tristan in Horsham, which is Michelin star. Looks cool.
Would have been our last Michelin star as well, the 4th.
Was looking forward to that, but so yeah, that's not going to happen anymore.
Well, did you get an email from them?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
But things have to shut up on Wednesday. Because at first I was like, oh, maybe it's Thursday midnight is when it all kicks off.
Fingers crossed.
No, it's...
Because who introduced this bloody policy on Thursday? Idiots.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think Bojo's...
There must be some method to the madness. There must be some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just like...
Thursday's the new
enjoy
Friday,
this
anyway.
Weekend. Anyway, yeah, so Bristol, really cool city.
Where did we go today, Hudson?
We went to a restaurant called Bulrush, or The Bulrush?
Bulrush, I think.
Bulrush.
Which is another Michelin star.
Michelin-starred restaurant in...
Our last of the trip.
Again, sort of like another neighbourhoods. Like, so the
Yeah.
outskirts of Bristol city centre.
Very unassuming.
Like a nice upmarket-ish sort of neighbourhood thing again.
Yeah, very unassuming front of shop. And on like a row of streets with like a dingy-looking corner shop, a few shops down. And
Yeah, because I was like, you were like, oh, there it is. And I missed it even when you pointed it out, yeah.
It's the same with Menu Gordon Jones, actually. It's kind of like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. First things first, the menus on the window say £55.
I forgot.
And then when you sit down, it says £60.
Yeah, which is quite funny.
It's just like, sort your shit out. And that's not the only thing they need to sort their shit out about. So let's start. Initially, I thought the restaurant was nice.
Yeah, it had. We were taken upstairs again, and the upstairs never seems as nice as the rest of it.
I would have preferred to sit downstairs again. I enjoyed the upstairs.
And it was an open front kitchen again, which would have been cool to see.
Yeah, see. So they sat us, I don't know what it is about the Howard surname, but they insist on putting us upstairs with the riffraff.
Furthest corner away from anyone we might offend.
They probably got a phone call from someone.
Yeah, fucking hell. Sorry, like, put these guys on the grey list. Let them in. They'll pay lots of money. They'll drink loads. So.
Yeah. Don't have them in the nice part of the dining room for crying out loud. So yeah, initially I was a bit like, oh, fuck's sake, I want to sit downstairs again. And I went through Billy Big Bollocks being like, oh, we can ask them to move, but we didn't.
No, and it's pretty full when we came in. We had our booking was 12:30, so
Quite early, because people were still coming in at 2, so...
yeah, and it was full when we left.
Yeah.
3:30 something. So,
But once we settled in,
3 maybe.
got our drinks and stuff, I actually thought the table was fine.
Yeah, it was nice enough. It was nice enough.
So yeah, another tasting menu only joint.
Yeah, we messed up a
Hench
wee
tasting menu.
bit. They call it like the meat and fish tasting menu or
Yeah.
a vegetarian tasting menu.
Yeah. So those are your 2 options.
So we
That's
should
it.
have gone for one of each. We realised too late that we should have gone for one veggie, one normal, but we didn't.
I think we only agree on that because maybe some of the veggie dishes would have been better.
Well, maybe, but it was a real roller coaster.
It was really odd, thoroughly enjoyable experience.
Yeah, but it was very kind of a lot of the things were quite out there.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's shoot.
Well, what did you have for your aperitif, Hudson?
I had the most delicious. I could drink them every day. They were that good. I had a
Every day. Breakfast juice.
a honey and sage Tom Collins. So a honey and sage Collins, really nice. The sage worked really well. It was a nice, refreshing. I think Tom Collins is a gin, so it's a nice, refreshing drink.
It's vodka, isn't it?
Oh, is it vodka? I thought it was.
Coming from the guy who called it John Collins earlier. So.
Yeah, I think it's gin.
Fair enough.
But really nice. Had a couple of those. Really well made. Really happy
I had
with
a
that.
local, I think it's called Moore Brewery Session IPA. Nice enough. But the first...
I didn't try. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Beer. Beer, wasn't it?
It was beer.
Beer.
Didn't get any tea. No.
So the first kind of course, little entrees.
They called it a course. The rest of us would call it a amuse-bouche. No, but yeah.
The Surreyites among us. Pig trotter sponge, venison and juniper tart, and duck liver macaroon.
Best to worst, or
Yeah.
right? So I've thought about this quite a lot now.
Okay.
Because obviously we've had a long time to think about this meal.
Yeah, 2.5 hour drive or whatever back.
Yeah.
So-
I think the pig's trotter sponge, is that what they called it, was my favourite.
Interesting.
Really nice, really porky as well. So they
Yeah.
did it really well.
With a nice, it had like a little bit of red Leicester grated on top.
Was it Red Leicester? I was
Yeah.
trying to remember what she said.
Which
Red
was
Leicester.
nice.
Yeah, really nice.
I personally preferred the venison and juniper tart, little tartlet things.
So that's my number 2. That was really good. If you like smoky,
Yeah, it was really smoky. It had like
hench
little
flavours.
tiny mushrooms and like a selection of kind of pickly vegetables, well, maybe not pickled, or maybe lightly pickled vegetables, but
Yeah.
nice and like a very thin tartlet. So it's like a very
Yeah.
thin crunch to this like really nice, chewy, like mushroomy.
I think that
smoky
tart,
goodness.
it's a very close second. I think that tart is a good place to interject and say the chef at Bulrush loves his certain techniques. So that little tartlet is a good show of the techniques he loves.
Yeah.
So he loves pickling, which I love as well. He loves smoking. There's lots of smoking aspects on the menu. He loves miso, which I know isn't a technique, but seems to love miso and
3 different things I think that had miso
yeah, so
involved.
lots of smoking, pickling, misoing. And
Which I love as well.
yeah, I thought that was,
We'll kind of see how it's laid out.
Yes.
Because we'll talk about it. It kind of comes in chunks,
Sure.
doesn't it?
yeah. So your second would be the pig
Trotters,
thing.
I think it was a bit too cakey at first.
See, I didn't get.
It did chill out.
You
but it
really
was-
have an aversion to cake,
I
don't
just don't
you?
love texture.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
just a bit grim. And then this duck liver macaroon.
Yeah,
The duck liver pate inside, delicious.
it was fine. Yeah, okay, it was nice. Yes, it
The macaroons were closer to meringues.
sucked ass.
I think you said it was pink pepper.
It was pink
they were
peppercorn.
Very sweet and kind of like stuck to my teeth and my fingers and
It had, and the pepper, because it stuck to your teeth, coated the taste buds.
and it was just
For a
too
while.
sweet and just
No good actually. It was
yeah.
And calling it a macaroon,
It was a meringue.
it was a meringue. Yeah,
And I don't know why these macaroons. They're very popular and they're quite nice.
I like them. I do like them.
Same, but I don't see why they need to. They feel they need to put so much of their whatever filling they're using. Normally, it's some kind of liver pate. I've noticed,
In these posh places, yeah.
which again, I have no aversion to. I love it. But they put so much in that as soon as you bite down in this hard outer shell, it just squishes together and everything comes out.
This thing was big as well. It
Yeah.
wasn't a one biter.
It's
at all.
like make them smaller so you've got a couple of mouthfuls, or do it like it would have been better if it was like 2 halves.
Yeah.
But then the meringue shit anyway. It was like
The meringue was really bad.
give me a nice little bready thing with that liver.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been absolutely fine.
Unfortunately, that really did suck, that macaroon thing. So yeah, it sort of follows the style though. Some really decent bits, some kind of sucky bits.
Yeah, which was kind of...
that was the whole vibe, I think. Of the...
that was telling of things to come. But what was the bread course, Hudson?
So the bread course was interesting. Again, split opinion, but it was... So on the menu it's Montgomery cheddar, onion marmalade and sourdough.
So it was a Montgomery cheddar custard, is what they called it?
Did they call it a custard?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was really kind of like buttery in texture. It was thicker
Yeah.
than like a custard, but
A
obviously
whole
not hard
big
cheese.
bowl of it as well. There was a lot of it.
It was a fair amount, and onion chutney and really, really nice butter. I can't remember what it was like sprinkled with or infused with.
The butter was nice.
Up there with the butters we've had thus far. Not as good as Menu Gone Joe's. Smashed it, but that might be the second or third nicest butter. Maybe that, Gordon Jones, the seaweed butter, and then this. 'Cause
You
this
really
was
like the seaweed butter,
Yeah, I
didn't
really
you?
dig that.
Yeah, so again with this dish, I was on the way back debating this meal with myself. I wasn't sure if there was like something up with me because I didn't like it that much. I liked it,
That's the thing.
but it didn't blow me away.
No.
As it should. As it reads on the menu, that's like, yes, gimme, 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 all that bread. But actually, eating it, it was like, yeah, it's nice.
It was,
Oh,
it was
I'm
nice.
sorry, sprinkled with...
Was
sorry,
that did that have the yeast flakes?
Yes, it did, yeah. Sorry, we forgot to mention quite a big component, actually, that's not mentioned on the
Really
menu.
nice, actually. That was a really nice touch, I thought. So again, despite the fact it didn't kind of blow me away, it was like a very nice cheesy onion chutney sandwich.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was like nice enough.
So sorry, yeah, the cheddar custard thing was sprinkled with yeast extract.
Yeast flakes.
Yeast flakes, yeah.
Which gave it a really nice kind of like savoury bite to it.
But yeah, so putting all the components together, it was just
I think
fine.
That's
for
it,
me.
we've said it all.
Yeah.
What was next?
Bread was nice. Sourdough.
Oh yeah, it was
nice.
lovely rye sourdough. And then we had roasted squash, raisin, pumpkin seed and goat's curd. So it was like a...
Forgettable. I forgot about that course.
There was a squash puree,
That was nice.
and then goat's curd. It was kind of like another puree type thing, 'cause it had some like micro fungus. I
That
can't remember what
so
it was
that
called.
thing confused me.
And had a load of parmesan.
Yeah, too much.
a bit too
so
much
it was
parmesan.
cheese on cheese. So there's a lot of cheese going on.
With like a kind of cut of like roasted squash, which was quite nice. With like the dollops of these like little chutney type things on it. Maybe they were the raisins. These menus don't
Raisins, they
really
were
do
raisins, yeah.
a great job of...
Giving you all the ingredients
Yeah,
and
kind of-
components. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a list of ingredients, really.
But so like the
I
sprinkled
really
yeast
liked it,
extract on
yeah.
the one before, I would have put that on the menu.
I think they did. I don't know what's up. I remember seeing yeast at one point on the menu, but...
Okay. Anyway,
Maybe
sorry,
it's
the
just a-
squash thing. So when you mentioned it, I completely forgot about that course. It was fine, but didn't wow me.
I liked it. I really liked it.
Okay,
I
fair
thought
enough, yeah.
it was like the sweetness of that squash puree with the goat's curd and micro mushroom, had a really, again, nice savoury bite to it. Bit too much parmesan for my taste.
Too cheesy, yeah. And there was a potato crisp on top of it, sorry. Just to
Oh,
mention that.
yeah. So that was the pumpkin seed aspect. It was like
Yes,
pumpkin
yeah.
seeds with potato crisp, which again was quite nice. Lovely little dipper one. It was like it was closer in texture to a poppadom.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
Various reasons, Hudson like eating crisps.
Yeah, but so I didn't have it, but nice or just meh.
It was right. It was
Just-
halfway between like Walker's baked and like poppadom.
Nice.
So it's like potatoey in taste, but Walker's baked poppadom-esque texture.
Nice. That sounds quite nice. I think
Yeah.
I would like it. Yeah.
And it worked really well dipping it into the puree because I just ate them
So
first with the puree rather than like breaking up or anything. I just like,
The butternut squash puree was really nice. I that was the best component for me on that dish. But again, forgettable dish.
So I think those first three courses started off quite strong
Yeah, started off very strong actually.
and then kind of continued to
Disappointing.
no, continued on with a pretty strong. Certainly wasn't disappointed by that bread, but I really enjoyed this. So it kept on saying strong.
I think, and the service was on point, so the dishes came out in a good speed.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I had to ask them to take my empty can away, and it wasn't a massive table, so it's like a bit like. And then I kind of
Take
had
the
to,
darn thing.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So started off quite strong, and then I think we had our first real trough of the evening. This is when it started to kind of lunch. I don't even know what fucking day it is, man. So it's on the menu. It's crab, black lime, and cucumber.
which to me sounds really good. So I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, a nice kind of cucumbery salad on the bottom. We'll go from bottom and work our way up.
Yeah.
With Hudson, take it away.
Oh God.
Wasn't like a little bit kind of pulverized crab type thing?
Yeah. Is that what it was? Like the little puree thing?
I think I'm not really sure, man.
No.
I think maybe the crab might have been part of that. And I had to pick a bit of shell out my teeth, but
Yeah.
that's by the by.
That puree thing, then shredded crab, and then
Like this weird like
you've really
gelatin.
done me in here. I don't know.
Yeah,
why
that's
this,
kind of why. Hudson.
So
A weird like gelatinous disc. I think it was like gelatine based
yeah, it was some sort of gelatine
with kind of like lime on top, like a tiny bit of fresh lime on top.
So it was a lime sorbet, is what he called it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he called it a lime sorbet, and it was just a frozen bit of puree
Yeah.
sorbet, if you like.
So
if we would.
It was cold. It was like straight off, which is like I'm nothing against. It was like a bit of a
Really
different
cold,
bit.
like straight out of the fridge type cold, really cold. Yeah, I didn't mind, but it kind of I was a bit like, oh,
Yeah, it tips the
Yeah.
back of it, which
Yeah.
again is not a bad thing. And like a tasting menu like that, like 10 fucking courses or something, a bit of like variety is definitely not a bad thing.
oh for sure, yeah,
But it had a really like bitter
super bitter.
vinaigrette type thing,
Yeah, I don't know.
and I don't know, didn't really enjoy it that much.
No, I didn't.
Kind
enjoy it
of
either.
said at the time it's probably like a palate cleanser because we've already had some kind of cheesy dishes.
Yeah.
And cheese kind of sticks to the palate for quite a long time, that
Yeah.
kind of creaminess, so the acidity and freshness of the cucumber. There were like nice aspects of it, but as a dish, I didn't really enjoy it.
No.
If it was meant as a palate cleanser, it achieved its task.
Yeah, okay, but then after eating it, that lingering bitterness of it was just a taste that actually wasn't very nice. But I enjoyed the cucumber elements because I just love cucumber stuff.
Yeah, it was a very fresh kind of like salad at the bottom. Again, there were nice aspects of it.
Yeah.
And it had a really nice kind of hinty, like crabby fishiness, which was nice.
Which was pleasant. A shame about the shell, but as you said, that
Oh, a tiny little bit. It's
yeah,
fine.
didn't enjoy it. Yeah, had a really not nice lingering taste. Ice cold. It's sort of what you'd expect in another restaurant, a palate cleanser before your pudding type thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't enjoy it really.
But then I think it was, I don't know, a palate cleanser was a good idea to
Yeah.
take us from the cheesy to the
Yeah.
smoky aspect of the course.
So, shall we move on to the next dish, which was
The next dish was fucking fantastic.
really nice, really unique flavours.
It was ox tongue cooked for 72 hours in beetroot juice with katsuobushi squid, which is like a dried fermented squid, kind of grated on top.
Which
with,
is
sorry.
Japanese technique.
Yes, yeah.
So sorry.
With a quince jelly.
Yes, really, really nice. And that's another thing I was trying to explain earlier about techniques and so on. So the waitress said that's like a Japanese technique, is that correct?
Yeah.
There's Asian influence as well in the menu. It dropped here, dropped a little bit there.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, well, I just said that miso came up a lot, so...
Yeah. Dish of the day?
Yeah, for sure.
So we both agreed on that straight away, I think.
Yeah.
Dish of the day. It was so I've never had a dish of ox tongue. I've had it as a component of a dish. So that was my first real ox tongue experience, and it was really, really good.
I mean, so it came as like these two little rectangles on the plate
Yeah,
with the squid. Like this is like
matchbox
smoked.
size.
Yeah, this is like smoked dried squid. So it was grated on top,
And you said try that first. Dip your finger.
just on a little bit of the grating.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it lent a really nice kind of smoky component to it. And as we were kind of like picking up our knives and forks and
Yes.
talking about the lovely smell,
Yeah.
the like waitress was explaining what it was. The juice from how it was cooked, the beetroot, cooked in beetroot, was just kind of like seeping out of it.
Yeah. So I thought that was a sauce,
No,
but
no.
you're saying it was the juice
So it was
seeps
like
out of it.
The juices from the ox tongue and the beetroot, so it was a lovely kind of deep red.
I really enjoyed that. I could have lapped up those juices because,
Yeah.
really nice. So the beetroot obviously has a natural sweetness, and when you cook it, it becomes really sweet. So the sweetness with the ox tongue is a super beefy cut, real
Yeah,
beefy flavour.
really intense, strong flavour.
So that worked really well with the salty, smoky, grated squid. Just worked really well together. Obviously, sorry.
Katsuobushi.
Katsuobushi, nice. All worked really well. Lovely. Really, really lovely.
Yeah, with the sweetness of the quince. as well. 'Cause it's already quite sweet from the beetroot,
So
but then that adds an extra kind of slight tartness.
Yes,
sweetness.
tartness. That's what I was going to say, sourness, but tartness, and all just worked really well. It cut like butter through the ox tongue, beautifully pink in the middle. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that dish.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
I think the portion size was spot on as well.
Yeah,
because it's
very
very
such
rich.
an intense flavour. It was very kind of out there on the palate, but yeah.
So then things started to look up.
Yeah, so that was a nice little peek. We went from the worst dish, or would you call the macaroni to worse?
No,
The crab.
I think my worst dish is still to come.
Oh, okay.
I think it is. Yeah. So
I can barely remember what's in the rest of the menu, but yeah, the best dish.
best dish for sure.
So a real
So-
eye there.
Things we're looking up from here, and we moved on to the fish course, which I really enjoyed, of trout, smoked mussels, and pickled turnips. Again, this description doesn't do it any justice
So
at
it was
all.
a smoked mussel sauce.
It was a smoked mussel sauce,
Pickled turnips was pretty
pickled
much
turnips,
as it said.
the mushroom, and I've forgotten the name of the mushroom. The black thing I thought was seaweed.
Oh, I think it might have been a tree ear mushroom,
Okay,
but I'm not sure.
really
Not sure
nice
about
little mushroom thing on the bottom, and the trout was barbecued.
Was it?
Yeah, and again, a technique he seems to like, barbecuing.
I guess it's hard to tell with this like smoked mussel sauce.
Yeah, so the whole dish was quite smoky, but worked really well. The fish was beautiful and fell
Flaky,
apart,
yeah.
flaky, and I would say medium in the middle.
The pickled turnips gave it a really nice kind of
Cut
ever
through.
ever so slight crunch with that kind of acidity from the vinegar, or alkaline from the vinegar.
Yeah, and the smoked mussel sauce was just really nice. It was just a pleasant, really pleasant, really nice to eat.
A very fishy dish. It really
Yes, yeah, really fishy. And one of my favourite parts, which I thought was seaweed, but it wasn't, the mushrooms on the bottom. They were really good.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
enjoyed
nice.
those. The whole dish just worked really well.
Yeah, a nice kind of gooey, chewy aspect to it, and just like no.
Yeah, have you got much more to say about the fish?
No, I don't think so. I think about this time I got elderflower lemonade, which was, I think, homemade and very, very lemony, but quite nice. It worked quite well with the fishy flavours.
Yeah, the elderflower lemonade was nice. And Theo, I got one later in the day, and Theo warned me, it's like, it's very lemony. And I was like, we'll see about that.
Whatever.
And it was like lemon juice lemony. It was so lemony. But yeah, so the fish course was really, really delicious actually. Now,
It's got throw down.
throwing down. So this, I think, we slated.
Oh.
We slated the crab.
Yeah,
But I could see the potential and the skill in the crab. This next dish was my worst dish.
I'd blanked this from my memory.
I think after this podcast I will as well.
Yeah, it was like, honestly, I completely forgot about that because it was such a
It was a
disappointment.
heartbreak.
Yeah,
It really was.
I must have just like suppressed it because it was just like, it was lamb.
Yeah, so one of my favourite meats in general, cooked in these Michelin star restaurants, always done really well.
Yeah, we both love lamb.
Yeah.
So the main kind of cut of lamb was barbecued.
Mm-hmm. Again,
And
with those techniques he loves.
I don't think lamb should be cooked on a barbecue.
No, so when the dish... Sorry, shall I read the description?
Yeah, go on.
So again, this does it no justice. Well, so lamb, onion, rat potato, and sweetbread. Again, a shit description that doesn't even have all the ingredients on it.
Yeah, so it was, so we just go through what was in it and
Yes.
then break it down.
Yep.
So it was like a cut fillet of lamb,
Yep.
a little bit of robe,
Yep.
a little bit of lamb belly,
Yes.
and then the potato with like crispy shallots on top or something.
Yep.
The sweetbreads with like a weird little pâté on it.
Puree
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
What kind of onion is it? A
Roscoff.
Roscoff onion, which was like charred. All with a lovely like jus over it, and the jus was very nice.
Yeah.
And that's about the only positive thing I have to say.
So on paper, sounds amazing. Give me that
Yeah.
all day long.
But the lamb was quite fatty meat anyway on that fillet.
So let's start with the fillet bit.
Yeah, because that was like the centerpiece of the plate.
Yeah. So when it initially came, and I think this lends well to your maybe this piece shouldn't be barbecued. When it initially came, I thought that's quite pink. I'll happily eat lamb pink, but that was really quite rare in my opinion. Which is
Quite
fine. I'll eat it. But
It was quite tough as well, though.
so it just wasn't nice. Yeah, the fat wasn't rendered down, so there was chewy and fat and sinew, which wasn't actually nice.
Yeah, but the flesh itself was quite
Oh,
tough.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the flesh itself was quite tough.
Yeah. So
So when they brought a steak knife, which was very pretty steak knife actually. Come to think of it. It was a beautiful, like, they did quite well on the crockery. We haven't talked about that at all actually. The crockery and the knifeware was all like very nice and pretty. But yeah, you needed a steak knife. I thought it was just kind of like for show.
Here's your lamb. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you needed it to get through that.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And then the rib, beautiful.
The rib was the best thing.
Lovely.
A plate of that would have been fine.
Tender. It was the smallest aspect of it as well. But lovely, tender, really flavourful. Like the rib was spot on.
Yeah, that was the saving grace of the whole thing, because I think that rib was my only positive. The rib and the sauce were my only positive things about that dish, actually.
Fair enough. Then I'll mention the other positive aspects, for me at least, was the sweetbread. I really liked that. That was lovely and tender and soft and just kind of like melted in the mouth. Very kind of strong of that kind of like offal kind of taste. So if you don't like that, I can understand why that might not be up your street. And I liked the lamb belly. It's kind of like fatty, slightly crispy, but like tender, nice and tender, and like soaking some of that jus, and it was really good. But you didn't like it that much, did you?
No, the lamb belly. No, didn't like the lamb belly at all. The fat was... I didn't like the way it was cooked particularly. Like, it wasn't buttery and soft as other bellies that you get in other places. Like, melt in the mouth, it wasn't that. It kind of sucked, actually. Really chewy. Mine was, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, not particularly nice. So I actually had a bit of it and left some of it, which I never really do. I just wasn't having it. Yes, the sweetbread was nice, actually. Yeah, so the sweetbread was quite nice. Again, the sweetbreads we had at the Black Rat were way better, I thought.
Yeah, but they were kind of like coated.
Like deep
breaded
fried,
and
fried, yeah. So the sweetbread was okay. The potato sucked.
It wasn't a very nice potato.
No, it was horrible.
And the crispy shallots were like too crispy. It was like
they was yeah.
It was like sounded like you're crunching through ice.
So the potato, I think. So everyone will know this feeling of when you just have like a jacket potato or something, and it's ever so slightly undercooked. So you've got this weird, not very nice
starchy
texture,
mouthfeel, yeah,
starchy, and that's how it was. And the shallots didn't save it at all. So yeah, didn't mind.
And the onion, was it
Roscoff
onion?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Was unnecessary, I think. So I tried it with. I ate most of it with that fillet.
I left it till the end because I kind of forgot.
Yeah, because it's just like, well, this needs some softness and a bit more. Something to try and save it. But yeah, I didn't think it was completely necessary.
No.
So on the whole, a bit of a disappointment.
Really
for something we were both excited about, and we saw it coming to a table before us.
We both gawped,
and they were talking. Like I said, the waitress was talking them through it. It was like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, really fell short.
It was similar in vein to another lamb dish we'd had at the Whitebrook in Wales.
Yeah.
Is it Wye Valley?
Yes, yeah.
Very
similar, actually. Surprising. Suspiciously similar, actually. Yeah, same vibe. Here's your 3 bits of lamb with a delicious sauce. And
yeah. But that was just like blow your mind.
That was
one of the best
faultless dishes
I've ever had.
Yeah.
And this was just like,
as
we've
faults,
described.
All the faults that you don't want to have with lamb were on that dish for me.
Unfortunately.
It's such a shame. That little centre cutlety, fillety bit is my absolute favourite of lamb. When the fat on that is, you slice through it like butter, that's my favourite cut. But yeah, unfortunately it just wasn't very nice. So we were both quite disappointed, actually, at that.
And we didn't go for the cheese course. There's a supplementary cheese course, which on a tasting menu seems a bit like,
So, again, because this is a tasting menu, we discussed, didn't we? I quite like it when they give you a unique, cool cheese course as the tasting menu.
Yeah.
But I think it is strange putting it as a supplement on this type of menu, personally.
It was about this time I had a Bristol syrup and soda water, and it was like a cherry and vanilla flavour, and that was really good.
You loved that, didn't you?
That was really, really nice.
I had another Sage Collins.
Sage Cole. I mean,
you really liked that, didn't you?
Never fear as a driver when you're going to these places, because
they'll always offer up
like the mocktails and non-alcoholic drinks are often very, very good as well.
Yeah.
Which leads us into the first pudding, the pre-dessert. I think they refer to it as, but it was very puddingy.
Yeah, it was quite a good portion size as well. So,
which was a thyme and lemon sponge with Victoria plums, with a honey and yogurt sorbet
and Earl Grey tea. No, I'm joking.
let me finish and then we'll get into that. Which had like a mead syrup sprinkled over the sorbet.
There was like
with a pollen and mead cracker on
Is that
top.
what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't think of a better word for it than cracker, but that's kind of what it was. And this is absolutely amazing. When the lady was describing it, she said the Victoria plums were cooked in agave, and I thought she said Earl Grey. So I was like, ooh, that's a bit out there, but I'll give it a try. And when they came to like take the plates, I was like, oh, well, I wasn't really getting much tea. And she kind of went off on a tangent. I was like, that's a bit weird. So just looked at
Yeah,
me.
because she was saying, oh, because of this, and the sponge has quite a strong flavour.
Yeah.
And then I was just, the whole conversation, I was absolutely like, what the fuck is going on? So, first off, Theo fucked this right up. Second off, the waitress is talking about some fucking shit.
Well, she was talking about the sponge.
Yeah, so...
Maybe she thought I was just so hip and trendy that I just referred to time as tea.
Yeah, so the tea and the sponge. So I was gobsmacked. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So then how did I address it? Or did I sort of leave it?
We just left it. It was like, yeah, very nice. And then
Was I like...
you were like, what the fuck? And I was like, I thought it was cooked with Earl Grey. And she said it gave.
Well, I pronounce it Argave. I don't know what's correct.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that was so funny. Just two wrong ends of the stick
Yeah.
from both people.
It's been beaten together.
Yeah.
But this was absolutely delicious.
Really nice.
Not overly sweet, and
No.
the yogurt lent it a really nice kind of balance to it. Diffused everything, and like
Yes.
bee pollen can often be kind of quite sweet and overpowering in and of itself. But just having the cracker resting on top, which is obviously smash up at first, and
Yeah.
really, really, really good. One of the, I'm never too keen, particularly with something like cake, like a lemon and thyme cake being part of it. But the cake sponge had been dehydrated.
Yes.
And then rehydrated with...
Was it some sort of alcohol?
I think I'm thinking of the next
Okay.
dish, maybe.
Yeah, no, maybe you're right.
I can't remember. It was dehydrated and rehydrated, regarders. Probably
And
something.
the
Maybe it was
liquids-
mead. Maybe it was mead.
Was it me? The liquid, she said, it was a bit like, oh, nice. Yeah.
Absolutely cracking. One of the best puddings I've ever had.
I think you described it very well, so I won't say much, but unique in flavour for me. I've not had something quite like that, really unique.
No.
And my favourite bit was that yoghurt and honey sorbet. Love that. So yeah.
It just worked really well. I love the plums.
Yes, the plums were
Soft
nice.
and sweet and...
And tart, and...
Yeah, with Victoria
Yeah.
plums they're normally quite tart, I think, as
Yeah.
well. So
Oh, they're quite...
the small ones.
Are they quite small?
Yeah.
Maybe I've never had them before then, actually.
Spot on.
Really nice. So I had really high hopes for the next pudding, actually.
Which...
It's fucking controversial.
It's
about to kick off.
tricky one. I don't know what I thought of that. I still don't know.
I think I sort of know what I'm getting at.
On the menu is croissant, truffle, and caramelised apple.
Sounds delicious.
Kind of layering through. Don't know what the croissant was.
So the cream. So I was expecting it to come out as a croissant type ordeal, but it didn't. It was all liquidy. So it was like
So it looked like a layer of whipped cream.
it was like whipped cream
with obviously not as vivid in colour as like sprinkles, but it's kind of sprinkles on top. And then underneath that was the caramelised apple.
Yeah.
With a
cognac,
brandy sauce and like a weird little bit of jelly. And then
Yeah.
bits of fruit that I forgot to there was some weird little berry in there as well.
Missed that. Oh, I forgot about that. I'm just
Kind of
still
like yellow skinned, maybe like do you know those orange things that have the big puffy?
Yeah.
Maybe it was those.
Was it those? Oh, I like those.
Maybe.
I didn't. I missed that.
There was something else in there.
Okay. With shave.
Yeah, with truffle shavings.
Yeah. And,
A
yeah.
mountain of like grated truffle.
Yeah,
on top.
grated, yeah. So the croissant was the whipped cream.
Yeah.
Was croissant. It was like croissant flavour.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
had the flavour, that kind of buttery,
Yeah.
pastry-esque flavour.
So
with
very-
these delicious little, those like sprinkly things. They were like
Yeah, they were
caramel or
nice.
something, like maybe like burnt caramel or something.
Yeah, something like that.
They lent a really interesting texture and bite of sweetness to it. It really had a strong truffle smell,
Yes.
And
super
taste.
strong. Yeah.
which on a pudding to finish off the meal.
He took a massive risk, I think. I think it is trying to be a out there dish, and it, in my opinion, didn't succeed.
Okay.
On the whole.
Okay.
So, some aspects were very nice. Texturally, it was a bit bland. It was all just
Oh, you
mushy,
reckon?
and with the crunchy nib things
And then the jello,
and the jelly,
Jelly, yeah.
jello, and the jello.
And like it's kind of quite a saucy
apple was quite
bottom.
crunchy.
Yeah.
Okay, so scrap that. I think it's just the taste I've got
Truffle bit through everything.
immediately. So you're hit with this truffle.
And I love truffle. I like the dish, I think. On the whole, on reflection, I think I liked it. It's too much truffle. Like, I'm not even joking when I said a mountain of truffle earlier.
It's a lot of truffle.
He
They were
could've
generous on the truffle.
Halved that, and it would have been
Yeah.
more enjoyable.
Yes, I think. Yeah, so I'd say I don't like it.
It's like
Again,
it's a strong, punchy, out there flavour, and that's
Yeah.
like what this menu was. There was a
Yeah.
lot of interesting, out there things.
lots of other.
So this stuff I've never really tried before, all in one day, all in a meal, you know.
Yeah. So I think you're right. Half the truffle, because you'll still get the truffle flavour, and you'll be there. So I'm still undecided, because now I'm like, well, I did quite
That's the thing,
like
'cause
it.
as we were going
but-
through, I was just like, wow, that's strong on the truffle when I started. And then I really started getting into it. And then like the truffle kind of like built up. And I was like, this is like too much truffle and I'm not quite really enjoying it anymore. And then I'd have a drink and chill
Yes.
for a hot sec and
Yeah.
it was like, okay. And then I'd start really enjoying it again.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, well, but there's just a bit too much truffle.
Yeah. So again, that's exactly how I felt. One mouthful, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in, I'm down.
But maybe
the next mouthful, I wasn't. So.
maybe that's what he was going for. Because it was very much like the rest of the menu.
Out there.
It was
and
so up
it
and
was
down.
unique, yeah.
It was like
Up
this,
and down, yeah.
that was like a brilliant summary of the experience we just had. It's like,
I've got a suggestion for the chef.
be less shit.
No, put that as the pre-dessert and the yogurt and
The honey,
plum thing
yeah.
as the dessert. Switch it round. That would add a layer. It would make it a touch better.
And
You can't.
and
That doesn't
ending-
sort out the taste.
Ending
but
on a high note as opposed to ending on a
risk,
question mark.
a truffly risk.
Yeah. And I like the fact he was taking risk, and I like the fact I've tried stuff that I've never, like flavour combinations and things I never would have tried before. And we said that was miso came up quite a lot. We
Yes.
never actually talked about
I
it.
was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. So yeah, you said miso. Miso was in 2 of the dishes
Yeah, and then on
and
the
one of the
petit
petit
fours.
fours. What dish was it in?
Was it the trout? It's glazed in miso.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so the trout, and that was really nice, and that's like an umami flavour, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So that just worked really well with the fish.
And what was the other one?
It wasn't the crab one, was it?
I think it probably was one of those like smokier ones because they tended to group it together because it was like cheesy, then smoky, and
What
then
was the other miso?
the sweets. Nah, fucking win.
Not going to remember, but yeah. So again, with that sort of Asian influence throughout the menu. So I think it was the crab, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that like pate stuff was
Yeah.
so
That's going to annoy me, but anyway. So yeah, ended on a really risky pud.
which on reflection, as I said, I liked, but
I think I like.
too much truffle and it was just up and down. And then the obligatory Irish coffee and flat white.
Oh yeah.
With a couple of petit fours.
Thoughts, yeah. Irish coffee was decent, nice and hot with
Served in
the
a
cold
tumbler.
crema. Served in a nice served in a tumbler, not a wine glass.
Than a
like
wine glass, not quite as good as one of those like latte glasses.
proper
with the
like
handle.
Irish coffee glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, decent hot coffee, cold crema, nice whiskey bites,
Yeah, decent
decent coffee.
flat white as well. With the petit fours were one was like a peanut butter fudge with like a layer of like gelatinous miso
Yeah.
on top, sprinkled with something I can't remember.
That
I
was wafty.
had a bite and didn't want the rest.
So I took the whole thing. I was like, let's just do this. You know, the peanut butter wasn't bad. I liked the peanut butter aspect because I don't like fudge really. So
Yeah, the fudge was all right.
it was just
It didn't work particularly well with the miso.
Yeah, it was just not that nice. We don't tend to like the petit fours really. But what surprised me, so it was a triangle of
Rich,
like,
chocolatey loveliness.
yeah, was it just like a chocolate? Just like
I can't remember either.
soft chocolatey ganache, almost not a ganache, but almost with a jelly in the middle.
I thought it was on around the outside.
Oh, okay.
It was like coated in.
Oh, was it coated?
I think so.
Okay. What was the jelly?
Can't remember.
What was the coating? It was one of the berries. It was not gooseberry. What was the one we had on the ox tongue dish?
Quince.
Was it quince? I think it could have been. Fuck, I've forgotten. But that was really nice. So, yeah, one
That was
bite
quite
of
nice.
that
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
nice. Worked well with the coffee
And
and
a nice
stuff.
little like bamboo skewer. I enjoyed that.
We haven't talked much about the service on the whole, like just...
I think we led in with the service, as I said. Like, it was good and timely, and the waiters and waitresses were nice and friendly and knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Didn't really chat much. I think after that embarrassing miscommunication.
Yeah,
it was
that was
like,
a bit like for the next couple of dishes, she did not even fucking bother asking what our opinion was. Oh no, well that was only the pudding. So you would expect people to ask, especially the truffle one, because that's such a unique pudding, and she was not having any of that.
No.
Not asking you again.
Don't blame her.
Oh, you gave your honest feedback about the lamb,
I was
and
like-
she was a bit like,
I was like, it's a bit hit and miss. She's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, with the different cuts. I bet she thought I didn't like the sweetbread.
Right,
Because that's
yeah.
probably quite like a controversial one.
and then the tea thing happened. So
Yeah.
she was like, this fucking guy.
Dude.
Yeah.
And then there was...
There was a fuck up with the bill.
Yeah, so I was going to get to the price, but the dude came to the table and was like 100 and... Well, no, he just rocked up with the card machine.
Rocked
No
up with the
deal.
card machine. So I was like, okay. So my initial thought, it didn't bother me that much.
No, I didn't really care.
My initial thing was, right, so they're trying to go like paperless or something. But you must have a bill. After thinking about it, like you've got to give someone a bill.
Yeah,
So he was like 165,
you at least have to ask. 164.
164.
So we paid 82 each with an £8 tip.
Yeah.
So we paid £90
Yes.
each. So 180 was paid.
And we both thought how reasonable.
Yeah, we're like, fucking hell.
Yeah, I thought
that was
it was
cheap.
going to be way more.
And as we were like leaving, the waitress came up, the one who had to deal with my bullshit.
Yeah.
Came up, was like, oh, really sorry, there's been like confusion with the bill.
Yeah.
Because I asked my colleague to go and take payment for the couple upstairs.
Yes. yeah.
Maybe he thought we were the couple.
In a room full of couple.
Yeah.
Is that what she said? Saucy mare.
No.
But the top floor was all couples apart from us. So yeah.
But they were thinking all couples will have a nice little love-in.
Yeah. So
And she was like, oh, don't worry about it, but we're really sorry about this. And we were like, no, don't be silly, how much do we owe?
yeah,
So we paid 180, it was
Yeah.
184.80,
without tip. So they didn't
Without
add
tip.
which is cool.
which is nice. Again, it's really been refreshing being out, not in London and not having service
Yeah.
charge assumed.
So I was all flustered,
Yeah.
and I was like trying to do some maths in my head, but being flustered and cornered. I was like, I was like, just put 35 on this guy.
Yeah.
No, we were both like, oh no, don't be silly. Sorry,
Yeah, like, we'll
I'll
pay
start
up.
from the beginning. Like, don't be silly. We still owe you money. Like this
Yeah.
is
And she
ridiculous.
was like, oh, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, well, the fact you're telling us is kind of...
Exactly.
You should worry about it, and we want to pay. We want
Yeah.
to at least pay the ticket price.
Yeah.
Someone was, as Hudson said, he was all flustered. Oh, 35, and I was like, mate, that's like a 30 quid tip.
Yeah, so then I was like, it
wasn't
front
that
of
good.
the poor girl as well. And then I was like, 25.
Yeah, just do 25. So they
Which
ended
is
up,
right. I was just cornered and like, oh shit. Like,
So
yeah,
initially
yeah.
we tipped £16. We ended up tipping 20. Again,
It's
Right.
within the realm of acceptable.
Yeah.
30 quid tip is not acceptable. I don't know. Normally I'd play, oh cool, I couldn't do... I just
35.
That's what I mean.
take
I don't know
100.
I don't know what got to me. Something got to me. Because I was just like, a 35? That's ridiculous.
what the fuck?
So Theo calmed me right down and was like, come on, stop being silly. So we paid up the rest with a tip. But as you said, it's kind of like, yeah, if it's like, don't worry about it, then don't bring it up. But of course we want to pay, and I want to tip them. I don't want them to get in trouble for an honest mistake. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's what it was, an honest mistake.
Exactly.
But also, what the fuck was that? I don't know. It seems to me like that's one of the advantage, particularly when we've got... We dealt with like 3 different waiters.
Yes.
If you've got 3 different waiters, assign them to tables, and this kind of thing won't happen.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. She was very apologetic and very nice
yeah,
about
super
it.
friendly about it.
Super
And
nice
like,
about
as I
it.
said, we're more than happy to just pay up.
At least
like-
what we owe. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, I was saying to Theo when we left, we should imagine if we were both just like, alright, see ya.
Oh, you done fucked up, bitch!
Bye now. So that was more the price I was expecting to pay. So
Yeah.
we got there in the end with the expectations.
Yeah. So £184 plus £20 and 20 pence tips. So we spent £205 on the meal.
Yeah. Quite expensive again, to be expected,
Yeah.
with all your bloody Irish coffees all over the nothing. So with such a roller coaster of a meal,
Yeah.
so just because it's on our little road trip, you know, this place has a Michelin star, and yesterday doesn't.
Which is criminal.
Which is
As
absolutely
you said
criminal.
yesterday.
And yesterday was better. Far better. Was far better. So in light of that and everything we've discussed, and actually not liking a couple of the dishes and whatnot, it's not going to score highly. I think.
Well, like that little palate cleanser thing, the crab,
Mhm.
I didn't like. I could see the technical ability.
Didn't hate.
Yeah. I could see the technical ability, I could see what they're going for. I just didn't like it. So it's like my palate. As opposed to the lamb,
Which wasn't good.
which is
actually.
bad.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
It was just bad, so that's definitely going to reflect. So what's your...
I'm struggling here. Give me a minute. I need to weigh it all up. 100. No.
Worse than Clark's.
Have you got a score? Because I am actually. I do. I'm still weighing it
I'm
up in my head.
going to go... I don't know, there's so many highs, and I want
There were a lot of
bump up
highs,
the
and I
highs,
want to
but-
reflect that.
And it was a good experience.
It was.
So I think I'm going to go 717.
Okay, that's quite a bit higher than mine. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's, as I said, some of the amazing peaks, brilliant service, decent like drinks, but I don't think I can really forgive just like badly cooked lamb.
No. Yeah.
But it was a great experience overall, and I had some of the dishes were so nice, like really incredible. That I think it should score highly for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm letting the downs get to me too much.
But that's still a solid 150 less than Sorrel, and I think
That's fair.
that's accurate.
So I'm going to go a fair chunk lower.
Okay.
I'm looking around the 600s, so I'm going to go 600 and... No, actually, 673 is what I'm
Okay.
going to give it. So I went up. I was going to drop it to the late 5s,
But
early 6s,
you
but
thought
I'm
about-
letting
you
the
thought
lamb
about
get
that-
to me.
You thought
Yeah.
about that ox tongue.
What did I just give it? 673?
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. That's way too high. No, dropping it
Way
again.
too high. Don't forget the ox tongue, man.
Yeah, don't forget the
That
ox tongue.
blew me
but
away.
I'm going to stick with my initial.
Yep.
I'm going for the low 600s. I'm going to give it 613. 613.
613.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the lows upset you more than the highs impressed you.
613 is a good score.
It is a good score. I almost feel harsh asking this.
Mm.
Do you think it's deserving of a Michelin star?
So, good question. Obviously, we've been comparing it to yesterday as it's on the road trip.
And given it's like a rolling menu, so it's like a lot of problems
Yeah.
with this menu, it's not necessarily going to have with other menus.
Exactly. Do I think, from my experience, do I think it's deserving of a star? Yes, I do, yes. I think it's criminal yesterday hasn't got one, but I still think this place deserves it.
Yeah.
Would I go back? Yes, I would go back if I were in Bristol. There are other places I want to go, but hypothetically, yeah, I'd probably go back.
Yeah.
In no rush.
Yeah.
No rush at all.
I agree. I think yes, it's deserving of its star because the highs were just phenomenal. But again, like badly cooked lamb. I think if we'd had the meal we'd had and we were Michelin inspectors, I don't know what their criteria is really.
I just can't forgive that lamb at all. Guys, it sounds nice, but it really was bad. Yeah, I think 613 is fair. Although I'm going to sit here tomorrow and be like, oh my god, that's so low, why am I so harsh? I'm going to debate it in my head, but...
I was thinking high 600s. I was thinking 680, 670, 680.
Would you drop on 7?
717.
That's a very fair score. That's very high as well.
It's quite high, but again, maybe the best pudding I've ever had. After another one yesterday, it was like one of the best puddings I've ever had.
Fair enough.
So certainly up there, and that ox tongue. I think that's my favourite. That's definitely dish today, but that's one of my favourite dishes I've ever had as well.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
So I think it's deserving of a decent score.
Yeah.
But 200 lower than Menu Gordon Jones, 150 lower than Sorrel.
Yeah, okay. Alright, yeah.
It was a hell of an experience, and that certainly came into it as well. But tough lamb, it's tough lamb.
And there's just no coming back from that.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.